Started. Okay, so today we're looking at index laws 4 and 5. So they're the last ones that we're going to look at. I've just put the laws at the top, and then I'm going to show you how we get to these laws. So again, it does involve brackets. So index law 4, if you have, what it's saying is if you've got two or more numbers inside a bracket, the power applies to both the numbers in the bracket separately. Okay. If we have a fraction, that's index law 5, the power applies to the numerator and the denominator. Okay, so I'll show you we'll do some examples and I'll show you what I mean. So where do these laws come from? So basically, if I do 2x to the power of 3, so I'll write it all out to show you where this comes from. Like we did the other day, we'll do the tedious method, and then you'll never have to do it ever again once you know the law. So this becomes 2x times 2x times 2x 3 times. Okay. I could then write it further with all the times is in between, but if I multiply the three numbers together, 2 times 2 times 2, that makes 8. We've got 3 x's, so that becomes 8x to the power of 3. And if you look at what's in the bracket, we essentially have gone 2 to the power of 2 times, 2 to the power of 3 times, now it's gone ugly now. Hang on, let me fix this. So 2 to the power of 3 times x to the power of 3 is what I'm going to write. So 2 to the power of 3 times x to the power of 3. So that's what the fourth index law is saying. So everything inside is applied. Okay. The fractional one, so x over 3 to the power of 4, if I wrote that out fully in expanded form, x over 3 times x over 3 times x over 3, 4 times x over 3. Okay. If I work that out, I just add, this is all x to the power of 1, I'd add them all up. So there's x to the power of 4 over 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, which is 81. Yep, 81. So that's also the same as me saying, so that's to the power of 4. That's also the same as me saying x to the power of 4 over 3 to the power of 4. Okay, so that's just showing where the fourth and fifth law have come from. So it's just a time saver. Instead of writing it all in expanded form and working it out, you can just apply that index to everything inside the brackets. Okay, so I'll just give you a moment to catch up writing that down. Yes.
Your final answer would be x over 4 to the power of 81 or x to the power of 3.
Both are acceptable. If you're asked to evaluate, I'd take it to 81. But you could leave it as 3 to the power of 4 if you weren't asked. Okay, so example 5, it says expand each of the following using the fourth index law. I'm going to evaluate them as well. So 5b to the power of 3, so that's like saying 5 to the power of 3 times b to the power of 3. Okay, so I'll evaluate 5 to the power of 3, so that will be 125 b to the power of 3. So I would say probably work out the number, but then you can leave everything else, obviously. Okay, next one. Negative 2, x to the power of 3, y. What's above my y? What's my index? Y to the power of 1 to the power of 4. So that's going to be negative 2, to the power of 4. And I might put that in a bracket to show that that applies to the whole thing. Times x, and then we've got a 3 and a 4. What was the law we learnt yesterday? We multiply them together. So it's going to be 3 times 4. And just for the purposes of writing the example, I'm going to just write it out. Times y to the power of 1 times 4. So negative 2 to the power of 4. What's the trick with the even power? Is my answer going to be negative or positive? Do you remember that? It's going to be positive, all right? So that's a quick trick you can use. So then 2 to the power of 4? 16. Good. So 16, x to the power of 12, y to the power of 4. You don't need to write the middle line. I'm just writing it out to show you how I'm deriving it. Okay, you can go straight to the end. But if you need to write it out, write it out. Okay, then C, we've got 4 bracket C squared D to the power of 3, all to the power of 5. Now, the 4, the power of 5 does not apply to that 4. So we just write that, and I'll just put a times sign next to it just to write it out. We're using that third index law again. So C 2 times 5 times D 3 times 5. So that will make 4C to the power of 10, D to the power of 15. So yeah, be careful with your numbers. Check they're inside the bracket if you're going to apply the law to them. But in this, for C, it's not, so you don't do it. Is there more? There must be more. Got to go to some epic ones. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay. All right. So there's some interesting ones on the next page. So it says apply the 5th index law to simplify the following. So this time we've got fractions with an index. So this one we apply the index to them separately. So 6 to the power of 3 over b to the power of 3. Okay. You can leave it like that, but I'm going to try and evaluate this number. 6 times 6 is 36. 36 times 6, I think it's 260. 6 is 6. Yeah, 216. Yep. So 216 over b to the power of 3. Okay. All right, b. This one's going to be, it's going to be epic. All right, so just deal with the top line first, and then just be really systematic about it. Negative 2 to the power of 4. So I'll just start by writing that out. Times a to the power of 2 to the power of 4. I'll just work it out. So a to the power of 8 over 3 to the power of 4 times, that's b to the power of 1, and then that's to the power of 4. So 1 times 4. So we've got b to the power of 4, and then times c to the power of 3. 3 times 4 is 12. And then I'll evaluate the numbers. So we've negative 2 to the power of 4 is 16. We just did that. A to the power of 8 over 3 to the power of 4. 3 3s are 9, 9 3s are 27, 81. I just know it from years of experience. B to the power of 4, C to the power of 12. Okay. Some of those lower ones are handy to know. You'll come across them enough times to start to remember them. Just thinking whether we can simplify. No, I think that's it. Okay. All right, next ones. You can see we're getting a bit more epic. So if you see brackets, I would say you need to start with eliminating the brackets first. So apply your 4th and 5th index laws first, and then do your multiplication or whatever it is. Okay. So we've got x to the power of 2, y to the power of 3 over c all to the power of 3. So let's apply the 5th index law. So x 2 times 3 is 6. Y 3 times 3 is 9 over c, that's to the power of 1. 1 times 3 is 3 times, and we'll evaluate this one as well. So everything applies there. X, that's x to the power of 1 times 4. 4. C to the power of 1. So that's c to the power of 4 over y, that's also to the power of 1. 1 times 4 is 4. So work on removing the brackets first. Then what should I do next? Suggestions? Yep. Good. So because it's multiplying, we can add the indices on the numerator and deal with the denominator. So we've got x to the power of 6 and x to the power of 4. So I can add them together. That will make x to the power of 10. I'll rewrite everything else. Y to the power of 9, c to the power of 4 over everything that's left on the bottom as well, because there's nothing I can add there. C to the power of 3, y to the power of 4. And at this point, just be really careful with your indexes. People start to get the numbers mixed up and stuff. So just be really systematic and take your time with it. So we've got a division here. Anything I can subtract? Yep. Yep.
We take c to the power of 3 from c to the power of 4.
Good. So we've got c to the power of 4 and c to the power of 3. And?
Y to the power of 9, take away y to the power of 4.
Good. Y to the power of 9, take away y to the power. So I'll just write the x to begin with. X to the power of 10. We'll deal with the c's. So c to the power of 4 minus c to the power of 3. So c to the power of 1. You can write the 1 or I'll just leave it as c. Y to the power of 9 minus y to the power of 4 minus y to the power of 9 minus 4 is 5. It doesn't matter which order you write it in either. So some people like to go with alphabetical order. Some people just like to write it as they do it. In your book, in your textbook, I think it puts it in alphabetical order. But as long as you've got that combination, it doesn't matter which order it's in. Okay. Last one. Bit of fraction as well here. So I had to throw one in. Come on. All right. So first thing we want to do is work on the brackets before we do anything else. So I'm going to start by writing everything else out. And we're going to work on removing this bracket first using the fifth index law. So that's going to become w to the power of 2 over 6 to the power of 2. We'll want to evaluate that before we do the fraction stuff. So w to the power of 8 over 18 divided by w squared over 36. Okay. All right, what do? Keep, change, flip. Keep the first fraction, change the sign, flip the last fraction. So that will become w to the power of 8 over 18. Change the sign, reciprocal, flip the fraction, the last one. Right, so what's next? Cancelling. Yeah, just did that, didn't we? What do we got? What can we do? 36 and 18. What's going to happen? Sixes? Okay. So 6 is a 36 and 18 divided by 6 is 3. Can I keep going? Yep. So 3s. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So I'll just rewrite everything. So w to the power of 8 times 2. 2w to the power of 8 over w to the power of 2. What else can I do? Oh, so I multiplied across. Sorry. So at this point, I multiplied across. Yeah, you could do that at the same time. Oh, that's true. We can't cancel them, but we can subtract the indexes. Yeah. So that'll become 2w, 8 minus 2, 6. You could do that in the line above as well if you want to do it all at the same time. Just be careful, though, because some people get carried away and they start cancelling that too. You can't cancel. Yeah. That's why I wrote it in another line, just to make it clear that we subtract it.
Do you write 8 minus 2?
You can, but I mean, if you're confident, you can just work that out and just write w to the power of 6. So I could put in another line. 8 minus 2. Yeah. That's cancelling because they're whole numbers, but I can't cancel indexes. You have to do the index laws to simplify them. Okay. Okie dokie. So today you're going to pick up where you left off the other day. Yesterday, wasn't it? Yeah. You want to basically have these 2 exercises and be up to date by the end of Thursday. Okay, so you got a bit of time. So just take your time and work your way through. You also want to show some working as well.